After meeting NATO allies amid rising global security tensions, the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is now heading to India for a three-day visit that comes at a sensitive moment in the America-India ties. The visit is expected to focus on energy, trade and strategic cooperation. The U.S. envoy to India, Sergio Gore, has just posted online that Marco Rubio has left from Sweden and is now heading towards India. The visit comes after months of growing discomfort in New Delhi over several moves by the Trump administration. Ahead of his visit, Marco Rubio said that the U.S. is ready to sell India as much energy as it is willing to buy. He has described India as a great ally and partner. Rubio's remarks, remember, are a broader effort by Washington to reassure India at a time when both sides are trying to manage new strategic and political differences. Rubio said that Washington is ready to supply New Delhi with oil, gas and other energy resources, and the only limit is how much India is willing to purchase. India is already one of the top importers of American liquefied natural gas, but the U.S. wants to go further.
Sell them as much energy as they'll buy, and obviously you've seen, I think we're at historic levels of U.S. production and U.S. export. We want to be able to do more. We were already in talks with them to do more. We want it to be a bigger part of their portfolio. We also think there's opportunities with Venezuelan oil. In fact, it's my understanding that the interim president of Venezuela will be traveling to India next week as well. So there's opportunities. There's a lot to work on with India. They're a great ally, a great partner. We do a lot of good work with them. And so it is an important trip. I'm glad we're able to do it.
Energy has become a tool of strategic diplomacy for the Trump administration. By encouraging India to buy more American energy, Washington hopes to reduce New Delhi's dependence on Russian oil, while also deepening economic ties between the two countries. But Rubio's visit, remember, comes against the backdrop of frosty ties between the two countries. The turning point came after President Donald Trump repeatedly claimed credit for helping end the India-Pakistan conflict back in May 2025. India has never said that any American role was played in the ceasefire during Operation Sindoor. In fact, it would undermine and challenge New Delhi's long-standing position that all matters with Pakistan must remain strictly bilateral. Second, Donald Trump has drawn publicly close to Pakistan's de facto military ruler, Field Marshal Asim Munir. Donald Trump even lavished praise on Munir, who's widely reviled in India, in fact. Trade tensions further complicated the relationship. Last year, the Trump administration imposed a 50% import tariff on India, including penalties linked to India's purchase of Russian oil under Washington sanctions. The tariff rate was to be brought down to 18% under a tentative trade deal announced in February before the U.S. Supreme Court scrapped the tariffs. All of this marks a sharp contrast to the optimism that once defined India-U.S. relations just a year ago. In April 2025, India had rolled out the red carpet for Vice President J.D. Vance and his family. Prime Minister Modi had received Vance with great warmth during his India visit. The visit came just months after Prime Minister Modi's own visit to Washington. In fact, PM Modi was the third head of the country to meet with Trump when his second term began. His own meeting with President Trump at the White House projected a personal rapport between the two leaders. The Prime Minister even coined the phrase, MAGA and MEGA, together would create a mega partnership for prosperity. At the time, both sides spoke confidently about shared strategic goals, economic cooperation, and a common interest in shaping the global order. But today, that optimism has given way to caution. So will Marco Rubio's visit help repair some of the recent strains and bring back the political trust and the strategic momentum that once defined the India-US equation? That's the big question.